Hello. Over the past 2 to 3 weeks, our community has seen a significant increase in COVID-19 or coronavirus cases. This increase creates the need for our school and district to develop alternate instructional plans, provided we would need to shut down for a short or temporary period of time. Please understand that we are not shutting down at this point in time, but the elevated number of cases forces us to plan for this possibility. Therefore, the purpose of the screencast message is to discuss our school schedule, provided we would need to shut down temporarily. In a moment, Mrs. Leeson will present to you what this schedule will look like, what our expectations of performance will be for you, and what you can expect from your teachers. I will end with this comment. It is extremely important that you stay engaged with your classes. That is, participate every day and put forth your best effort every single day. Remember, your attendance and your final grades are part of your transcript. Your high school transcript paints the picture of who you are academically and who you are from a character standpoint. Please do not create a negative situation where you need to explain poor achievement or attendance to a prospective college, a future employer, or any other individual connected to your future career path. At this time, Mrs. Leeson will discuss our schedule and your expectations.
Hi, this is Maureen Leeson, Assistant Principal for Curriculum and Instruction at Freedom High School. And I have a couple important updates I'd like to share with some of our students, parents, and staff. First of all, I want to thank everyone, the students and the staff members and parents, for your efforts in supporting our social distancing guidelines. We are very grateful for the students' cooperation and resilience while they are present within school. We are proud to report that after 10 weeks of school in the hybrid format, Freedom High School has implemented successful mitigation plans that prevent the spread of COVID within the school building. We've kept all Freedom High School students and staff members safe and healthy while in school. My next item I'd like to chat with everyone about is our agenda. We'd like to talk a little bit about the what ifs of if we had a short-term school closure and what would that schedule look like. We're actually very familiar with, these types of conversations. For example, what will the schedule look like if we have a 2-hour delay or due to snow, or what would we do if there was a school closure due to snow? So we want to have some proactive discussions about, what would that look like if we had a short-term school closure, and specifically, what are the expectations of students if there was a short-term school closure? We also want to review the schedule for November 23rd and November 24th. November 23rd and 24th are the Monday and Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving. And we have a couple general reminders we'd like to share. So this is what the schedule would look like if we were to go fully online, fully remote due to a short-term school closure. School would continue. We just would not be doing it in the face-to-face format as we are now with our hybrid schedule. All students, e-classroom and hybrid learning students, would be fully online. I'm going to show you a little bit more detail as to what would this look like. So in the event of a potential school closure, this is what a schedule would look like for any student with last name that starts with A through L. This includes any student that is in the hybrid format now and any e-classroom students. E-classroom students will now have the opportunity for synchronous instruction throughout the week. On Mondays, there will be a combination of asynchronous and synchronous work. In the morning time, students will work independently to complete online work posted on their Schoology courses. And then in the afternoon, all students will log on with their teacher on Zoom for blocks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Block 1 starts at 11:20, block 2, 12:10, block 3, 1 o'clock, and block 4, 1:50. Now, for any student with a last name A through L, just like we have now, there will be synchronous instruction on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And there will be asynchronous instruction for students with the last names A through L on Wednesdays and Fridays. And you can see here we've provided block 1 would start at 7:30, block 2 would start at 9:10. We've provided some time for lunch. Block 3 would start at 11:20, block 4 would start at 1 o'clock. This is very, very similar to what we do when we're all together in person in the building. So essentially, we're following the same schedule we are now, except we would all be online and our synchronous meetings would be on Zoom. And again, for that student with the last name A through L, they would have their asynchronous days on Wednesdays and Fridays, and students will work independently on their coursework on Schoology. They would not be required to be on Zoom. Now, what if you have a last name that starts with letters M through Z? Well, you're going to have the same schedule as your A to L friends on a Monday. Again, all students on a Monday are going to be asynchronous in the morning and synchronous in the afternoon. In the morning time, students with the last names that start with M through Z will work independently and complete their online coursework on Schoology. And then in the afternoon, they will log on to Zoom with their teachers for blocks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see the meeting times there. Now, for students with last names M through Z, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they are asynchronous, and they will work on their independent work on Schoology throughout the entire day on Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesdays and Fridays, they will follow a synchronous schedule in which they log on to Zoom with their teachers for block 1, block 2. We've provided time for lunch, and block 3 and block 4. Like I said previously, this is very similar to the schedule that we have right now when we meet in the building. So we'll just be, having the same schedule, but we'll be meeting on Zoom instead of in the traditional classroom. And let me once again state that for our students with last names M through Z, this would include e-classroom students and our hybrid students. To provide a little bit more detail on those synchronous learning days, maybe some students might be wondering, well, I have to be on Zoom 100% of the time. Well, we understand that Zoom fatigue is a concern, and so there will be components of the block where you must be with your teacher on Zoom. So the teachers will be having Zoom sessions from 7:30 to 8:20 for block 1, 9:10 to 10 a.m. for block 2, block 3, 11:20 to 12:10, and block 4, 1 to 1:50. The remaining time, the teacher might ask you to say, okay, now I want you to work on some independent work, or I'm going to put you in some breakout rooms and you're going to work in groups, or I'm going to schedule some office hours so I can work one-on-one with students who need it while other students are working independently. Understand that students will be responsible for working the entire block, but they will not necessarily be receiving direct instruction the entire time. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about the schedule for November 23rd and 24th. Our e-classroom students for Monday, November 23rd, we're going to have a normal Monday school day. And on a Monday, e-classroom students have 40-minute check-ins and instruction with their teachers on Zoom in the afternoon, and in the morning time, they work independently. On Mondays, hybrid students work independently on Schoology, and Monday, November 23rd will be a normal Monday schedule. On Tuesday, November 24th, our schedule is going to look a little bit different. All students, e-classroom, hybrid A to L, hybrid M to Z, they will all be logging on to Zoom with their teacher. So this again is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. And Tuesday, November 24th will be a remote learning day for all students, e-classroom and hybrid. So students will log on at 7:30 for block 1, 9:10 for block 2, 11:20 for block 3, and 1 o'clock for block 4. And throughout the school day, they will be working with their teachers. Lastly, I have a couple really important reminders that I'd like to share with students and parents. First of all, we want to encourage your child to establish a regular and healthy schedule for waking up and completing his or her schoolwork during normal school hours. For hybrid and e-classroom students, online days are school days. Students are expected to be completing work in all of their courses during every online day. We also want to encourage your students to commit to regular school attendance. With limited time to interact with his or her teachers, it's critical for hybrid students to report to school regularly on the assigned days and for e-classroom students to log on to their Monday Zoom sessions. For online days, we recommend eliminating distractions such as cell phones, social media, and even music, which will encourage students to focus on learning and engage with course curricula on a deeper level. One of the many resources available to our students and parents is Home Access Center Parent Portal. And we want to encourage students and parents to check grades regularly on the Home Access Center Parent Portal. In order to access Home Access Center, please go to the Bethel Mary School District website. Underneath the Families tab, you'll find Parent Portal and Apps. And then on that page, you will find the Home Access Center. You can input your username and password, and if you don't know your username and password, please feel free to call our guidance office at extension 53904 or 53907. And lastly, we want to remind your child to initiate communication with his or her teachers in order to take an active role in establishing a plan for success moving forward. We want to make sure that there's strong communication between the student and teacher. And finally, we want to thank everyone for all of their hard work. Our staff has been working harder this year than they ever have, and we're incredibly grateful for them. And our students have truly been outstanding in compliance with mitigation efforts and wearing their masks and social distancing. And we really do want to thank you. And we want to remind parents and students and staff that social distancing continues when we're in the community, and we have to follow safety guidelines in the community so that we can also make sure that everyone is safe in school. Thank you so much. If you have any questions following this presentation, feel free to reach out to your child's guidance counselor.